Okay, we are on the air. This is
What up, y'all?
another Real Talk Afro-Asiatic perspective.
Mm.
I am Amaru.
Sterling Carroll, Real Talk,
All right.
English Cultural Education Center. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to give you an Afro-A perspective. I believe it's 29,
Mm.
and it's entitled Buck Broken Betas.
Right on.
Are you going to share the screen?
Very good. Yeah, I'm going to share the screen. Very interesting article. If I do say so myself. And it's really what's been on my mind for a while. So it's good that you wrote about this.
Maybe not in this one, but part two, I don't know. But we're going to even give you some examples so that you see this buck broken, the effect of it in real time.
Right.
But let's jump into this.
All right, here we go. I'm going to read it starting with the quote. During slavery, there was a practice called, quote, buck breaking. This was a process of emasculating the strongest male on the plantation by forcing him to wear women's clothing or beating and raping him in front of his children so as to lead others to lose respect for him, by an author unknown. Keep going. The sudden rise of gays and beta males in society has been snatching headlines all over the world. So much, in fact, that some are questioning the authenticity of this new trend. In other words, is this phenomena a natural occurrence or one that has been artificially manufactured? Although the gay beta image crosses ethnic lines, nowhere is this symbolic stripping of masculinity more prevalent than in Black society. The recent shameless apology uttered by the rapper Snoop Dogg to Gayle King following her insensitive remarks about the late NBA basketball legend Kobe Bryant, R.I.P., speaks volumes. Why? Because it only occurred after Snoop was threatened in a tweet by former U.S. National Security Advisor Susan Rice. In her own words, quote, Snoop, back the fuck off. You come for Gayle King, you come against an army. You will lose, and it won't be pretty, which is strange for a security advisor to say, a national security advisor.
Yeah, I mean, this woman is a government official.
Yeah, right.
He's involved in a spat over words with a rapper,
with Snoop Dogg. Like,
and this is going to come back up later. And we're going to make a comparison to this. You know what I mean?
All right. Keep that in mind. Let's keep going. Did Snoop get checked by a bunch of, quote, hoes? What army was Susan Rice referring to? When the former national security advisor to the president threatens to use, quote, an army, it's not the same as some regular Joe on the street civilian, right? Is it possible that Snoop feared for his life, which is what I think, and perhaps this is the reason he apologized? Speculation into this incident can go into many directions, so let's concentrate on a fact that is undebatable. Kevin Berenger, co-host of the So What Show, what up, Kev, pointed out that Snoop Dogg is a rapper who, to a large extent, made his fame by spitting misogynistic lyrics like biatch, G's up, hoes down, biatch. And who could ever forget, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks, lick on these and suck.
Not saying it.
Well, in 2020, it seems the script has been flipped. Snoop is now getting checked by some of the very hoes he rapped so eloquently about. And to add to the irony, Snoop claims he decided to apologize after having a conversation with his, quote, mama. And this is his mama.
What did she say?
What did she say? You know, I raised you better than that. You're a representation of us. Every woman that ever crossed your life, you're a representation of that.
Kev, peace out to Zoe Williams and Kev and everyone who rocks with that.
Right on that. Yeah, there's a what show.
All of that, you know what I'm saying? Corey Holcomb.
Yeah.
But he breaks it down and just, I mean, I didn't want to say it because he does it and I put the link to the show. But yeah, I mean, you know, I raised you better than that. Like, better than what? I mean, and he says, And you have to agree, where was she when he was when he was making this song?
Right, like that.
You know?
Isn't it a little too late? So
Yeah. So I'm like,
before we
so I
start
got to add to the irony. I'm like, every woman ever crossed your life, you're a representation of that. Of what? Like, what do
I
you?
raised you. I raised you better than that. Like, yeah, like,
So I mean, there's irony right there. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I mean, so I just wanted to. I mean, he points that out. Um, but yeah, I mean,
yeah, yeah.
of beta stuff. Okay, yeah.
It is beta stuff. Yeah, it's not holes. I was gonna say holes, but yeah, it's just beta talk anyway.
Add up. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah. According to Snoop, from this conversation, he quote got it, and this prompted him to, in his words, just man up and deal with it. He finished his statement by saying, "I don't mind being checked. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong." But was Snoop so wrong? In the video in question, Snoop was clearly upset about Kobe's death and was defending the legacy of a friend so close to his heart he considered him a quote little brother.
Mhm.
I guess the question is, what would you do if someone in the wake of your friend's death was deliberately smearing his or her reputation and legacy? Oh, and let us not fail to mention the evidence for the bogus rape claim was based entirely on the lies and innuendo of a documented parentheses here several sperm samples in her panties certified hoe. So what I am proposing is this: even if Snoop did cross the line, considering his emotional state, shouldn't he get a pass? We cannot forget the U.S. is a country that recognizes and respects a white woman's right to lie about being raped by a black man in order to, quote, protect her reputation. Case in point, the internet has been scrubbed clean of the, quote, Devon woman who accused Kobe. And I was looking for a picture of her.
You can't get
That
her
said,
name, nothing.
right? That said, I do know the name of the liar who accused Emmett Till of, quote, grabbing her waist and uttering obscenities. Lies that ultimately resulted in his very brutal murder. Yeah. His name was Carol, or her name was Carolyn Bryant. The irony continues to thicken. The only reason I've mentioned this, quote, hoe, is because a few weeks ago, the U.S. House of Representatives passed an anti-lynching bill nicknamed, quote, the Emmett Till bill, which is, oh my God, that's just so, part of my friend, that's just so white though, man. The Emmett Till bill.
It's what I forgot. He calls it a backhanded. What is it? A backhanded compliment. Like it's very
Yeah,
backhanded. Like I mean,
yeah, yep.
it's a joke.
The Emmett Till bill. If it becomes a law, lynching will be a federal crime. Hearing this sheds light on the vast difference between how everyone in the world views lynching as compared to whites. And this makes sense once you consider that the evil people at their satanic rituals called picnics, who are caught on film smiling and pointing at melanin-rich corpses hanging from trees, are this generation of white folks' great grandparents, which is really hitting home right there. Because I had to look at a lot of white people who I used to think were my friends like that. I'm like, yo, they're descendants of these races,
Yeah.
you know, and they got that memorabilia anyway.
That boy,
Uh,
that dude who was from your the town you lived in, that I worked with down in
uh,
Kagoshima, and when I dissed him and he realized I didn't want to deal with him for
mm.
Halloween, he dressed up like a black dude with an afro and
Oh
everything. He was right
yeah,
next to me in the next classroom. And I was like, yo, if I punch this guy in the face, you know what I'm saying? But see,
yeah,
that's all that's some beta shit right there. Like, so I accepted it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say nothing about it. I mean, he wasn't up in my face. He was over on the other side. But this is how things start to, you know what I mean? You start
right,
accepting these things, and then pretty soon,
yeah.
you know what I'm
How does
saying?
that get into your mind? Yeah.
Yeah, you know. But yeah,
Mm,
we can talk about that. But yeah, just to show you, that's an example right there.
mm. All right, let's keep going. Just think about it. If you have an upper class white friend, associate, or coworker, there is a fair chance that stashed away somewhere in their garage or attic is a box of Jim Crow souvenirs from the good old days.
Good old days.
The good old days. To ensure their memories would never be forgotten, thousands of these heinous images were converted into portraits, postcards, and other memorabilia. In some towns, these after church family events were the highlight of the weekend. After church, is
Right? After you got praise
you
God.
gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me, yo.
Your boy, Young Pharaoh,
After,
he showed a film. And I forget this, but the Ku Klux Klan is a Christian organization.
yeah, yep.
They're a
That
Christian
I do know.
organization. So I
Yep.
mean, do the math. You know.
All right. We can
Yeah.
let's see here. The family events. Okay, I'm sorry. It was a recreation. So you see, as deplorable and inhumane as we know lynching to be, it represents something totally different to the ruling class. When we see these images, we feel pain, lament, fear, and hatred. For whites, however, the overriding emotion is either pride or embarrassment. Why? Simply because they know very little has changed from the era of Jim Crow to the administration of Donald Trump. Exactly like the ancestors before them, this generation is still unjustly benefiting from, quote, white privilege. And therefore, believe it or not, many view lynching through a nostalgic lens. However, since this type of barbarism cannot be justified, the media attempts to minimize any mention of their peculiar pastime. So you see, whether or not the Emmett Till bill becomes a law, just the fact it is being, quote, discussed 100 years too late, now that all the cheesing folks and the photos are dead, and the photos of the picture in the article, right, where they be smiling after hanging niggas, this alone should be enough to make anyone who is paying attention feel insulted. And while we're on the topic, whenever I see images like the photo above, I cannot help but wonder how many other, quote, Carolyn Bryants, i.e. lying white women, are out there, just sitting back without a care in the world, with their names, atrocities, and lies erased from the record. Yeah, these are the only ones you know about. And then,
Right.
And then
right.
this is before the internet, before all that bullshit. So
Man, there's brothers serving time. Brothers been lynched.
Oh my God, in jail right now, yo.
Yeah, and they're sitting there getting killed. Just imagine you're sitting there getting killed, and you ain't even do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or even if you did do something, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you're supposed to be getting tied up and between two horses, and just, you know what I mean? The horse is gonna go and it's gonna tear you in two pieces. Like, yo, man, people act like like this stuff is not that big, or it's going away. But
yeah, because so like you said, that they're a Christian organization, the Ku Klux Klan, and I wonder what Christians I say. I'm like, well, if white people like back in the day are in heaven, would you discuss that with them? Like, you know what I'm saying? So how did you die? Oh, your granddaddy. Well, yeah, you were touching. You looked at my wife the wrong way, so I tied you to them horses and ripped you to 6 ways since Sunday or whatever. No, but we're all Christian now.
Do you want to go to a place where these people are? These kind of people. This is what they did. If they're in heaven, then I definitely am not trying to go there.
Trying to be up in there, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And if you're in hell and they're there, you're like, what the hell did I deserve to do with the reason why they're down here? You know what I'm saying?
No, if I go in there, wherever they are, I'm like,
I'm in the wrong place. I'm in the wrong place.
Wrong place,
All right. Bought, paid for, and compromised. Is Snoop Dogg just an example of a tired old man with nothing left in the tank? Have many of yesteryear's hip-hop legends stopped valuing the opinion of Black people? Host of the talk show, quote, The Black Authority, Jason Black, seems to think so. Big shots out to Jason Black. During his show entitled Buck Broken Old Men, he goes in on Snoop Dogg, Big Daddy Kane, and Rakim for their head over heels endorsement of Marshall Mathers, the Caucasian rapper known as Eminem. In the words of Jason Black,
Rakim, something like that.
So I was like, please stop.
Yeah. Y'all gotta take this nabe off. I'm cooking, so I gotta take this nabe
bro.
off.
I'm gonna keep going.
Listen, go ahead.
In the words of Jason Black, hip hop is not theirs to give away. When Big Daddy Kane is asked in an interview, quote, if you're Dr. J and Jay-Z is Jordan, who is the, quote, hip hop, Kobe of hip hop? Kane deliberates for a long time before stepping right past the likes of Kanye West, Andre 3000, Supernatural, Mass Skills, Mos Def, Lil Wayne, Nas, Jeezy, 50 Cent, T.I. I'll continue, Tupac, Biggie, goddamn any amongst countless others to anoint you to anoint you know who. Jason Black talks about how both Kane and Rakim have stopped caring about what Black people think. Therefore, he postulates being regarded as the GOAT by his people is no longer important to Rakim. Right. He postulates being Jason Black. Yeah, yeah. So I'm just talking to myself there. Black also emphasizes how Snoop, Kane, Rakim, and I'll throw in Ice-T and DJ Premier, any of the so-called legends who endorse Mathers with greatness are just old men on leashes who can no longer be trusted because they have been compromised. And a quote from my mans, they're chomping at the bit to sell us out at every level. And I say, to hell with these old niggas.
The hell with these old niggas.
Man, I was doing something. I almost dropped this. I had a bowl in my hand or something. I was like, oh.
Yo, I think that's where it broke. Maybe up to that point. I mean, I was trying to hold on, man. You know, Rakim, man. God, Rakim, you know, I mean, that's the God MC. And he was even calling him, he's a God, he's the God MC. And this is what, oh man, and you know what? But he kept on saying it, and he kept on, you know, showing and proving. And I was like, yo, you can't even argue. You can't even argue. You can't, because to argue means you're gonna have to be over that line. That line that the line where you can't compromise that far. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Go over that line, and you one of them cats.
Right.
And and I was just like, wow. About it, I was like, yo, so shout out to him, you know, and also just that goes
perspective, and just to have an older cat say that, because you want to respect your elders and all that, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, and I'm not talking about Rakim per se for respecting your elders, but I'm talking about, like, you know, even King or any of the civil rights leaders and all that, you know, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for us today. I'm like, okay, that's still kind of actually up to me, is still up for question. I don't know. It could have gone down another way if it wasn't for civil rights.
Okay, but check this out. Yeah. Going back to my man Jason Black. Like I said, it really, really got to me that he was talking about Rakim. But I was able to change my mind. You know, in this debate culture we have now, people come into this debate and they're riding with something. Like, I'm riding with Rakim. Rakim was, you know, the GOAT to me. And he actually went on him, and I was feeling a way about it when he first said it, but he kept going, and he made it very clear. He says he's uncompromising. And I was like, yeah, he's true. And everything he's saying is true. I can't argue with it. Hence, that's why I had to write about it, because I have to let that out. I'm like, yeah, now I don't even know how I'm going to feel about when I'm listening to him now, but yeah, it is what it is. It's true. It's true.
It is true. It is true. Yeah,
I'm a man. Yeah. I'm not down with these babies. I'm not down with that. It is. And I heard Panic say that shit. That's the flaw in the whole debate culture, right? Because people come, I'm rocking with this guy, and then the other person's rocking with this other guy. But when they come in, they're not able to hear what the other person is saying. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, nah, I'm rocking with him. Whatever you say is bullshit. You know what I mean? No matter what. You know what I'm saying? But Jason Black is coming with real. I couldn't be like, that's all bullshit. No. Why? Because I'm not a beta. Betas come in like, no, I don't care what you say. They're just going to refute you and beat you down.
Without knowing anything about the subject,
because it's not even about the subject.
It's not about the, it's the energy that you're giving off. They're going against that.
They're not trying to further what's going on. They're just, they're all about themselves. It's all about this hate. Like, we're going to get into the characteristics of exactly what a beta is. And that's what I'm saying. Like, right here, this is a moment for me. Like, I could have been like, nah, hold up, man. You talking about this is the God MC. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, nah, what he's saying is clear. It's clear and it's true. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, I can look at his lyrics any way I want, but as a man, yo, he's falling off.
It's got nothing to do with that. Yeah, it's got nothing. Yeah, one's got nothing to do with the other. Yeah. And there's a lot of musicians like that, by the way, who I love. But when they start to speaking on other things, you're like, oh man, shut the fuck up.
Right? And you was like, I wish I
Anyway,
didn't hear that.
yeah.
I wish I didn't hear that.
Jennifer Lopez. Who did with Jennifer Lopez, the Motown brother? Damn, I forgot his name right now.
Man,
I don't want to say a mistake, but anyway, yeah. But he was doing the same thing. I was like, yo, man, shut up, yo. Anyway, here we go. Next headline. So who's the man? Is patriarchal masculinity the source of society's woes? Is this what white feminist groups like the LGBTQ are calling toxic masculinity? Harris O'Malley, in his article, The Difference Between Toxic Masculinity and Being a Man, states toxic masculinity is defined by violence, sex, status, and aggression. It's the cultural ideal of manliness, where strength is everything while emotions are a weakness. Was Snoop exhibiting toxic behavior when he expressed resentment at Gail's line of questioning to Lisa Leslie? Many seem to think he was okay until he ended his rant with, "Before we come get you." Yeah. Really? Folks, let's be honest. Did anyone actually believe Snoop was planning to physically harm Ms. Rice? No. If so, how does the Snoop Gail incident differ from the foreboding words that President Donald Trump shot at Congressman Adam Schiff a few days ago, saying he should, quote, pay a price? Or how Republican senators were warned their heads would be, quote, put on a pike if they went against the president. Okay. In spite of these threats being far from graphic and violent, right? Far more graphic and violent, it doesn't seem like anyone is anticipating that Trump and Schiff are going to square off anytime soon, right? You don't see that as a threat. Here's a quote. Where is Susan Rice's tweet warning Donald Trump to back the fuck off? No?
Okay, and that's what I was talking about earlier about coming back. We talked about her in the beginning, right? Susan Rice. And it's like, why is Susan, like she's the black person in the government? That's part, I wonder if that's part of her job definition.
Like she has to be on the tweets doing it. Like she has to like.
Well, if any black entertainers, any black athletes step out of line, you're the person that's gonna beat them down. If, like, for example, if Tom Brady or some white athlete stepped up, Susan Rice wouldn't say anything. Like, it's strange. Like, they sit there and do this racist, this race card stuff right in front of our faces, and we're not supposed to say anything. Like how does that work? She's in the government agency. What does she have to do?
What is she saying with that? Yeah.
She has nothing to do with it except for the fact that she's black.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
yeah, because if a white woman said it,
some white athlete stepped up, do you think that Susan Rice would say something? Like, I wouldn't be some white person. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that work? And we're just we accept that. We
not to make it controversial or make a conspiracy, but white people do have a very good track record of using making enemies of their own people, of the people that they're trying to conquer. You know what I'm saying? So so that it just looks like the whole Gaddafi thing. You know what I'm saying? With they're beating them out in the street, his own people beating them out on the street. You know, stuff like that. Or in Thailand, all that, but have their own people going against, having the people that look like them fighting themselves.
Okay, okay, I got you saying, like Malcolm X talks about that. Like, it was gonna bring some Negro out here to beat them down. Like, they're not gonna do it themselves. They get some hired hand. But I wonder, even in Susan Rice's case, if that's actually in her job description.
Right. She's black, right?
Like, we know, I don't know. So, like, no one has to say nothing to her. Like, if some black dude, like, if one of us even got too big, we just became famous and blew up, it would be her.
I'm not even going to be surprised by it.
You know what I mean? If it's her, like, that might be part of her actual job description.
But it seems like you just talk to regular ass women outside sometimes. It's like they got it in their mind. It's like their job description as well, and they're not even being assigned that shit. Some black women, you're like, God damn, man, what's wrong with you? Like, all people got to speak out right now. Anyway, let's keep going.
That's Gayle King you're talking about right there. Okay.
That Gayle King energy, though. You know what I'm saying?
Gayle King, Oprah energy.
Yeah.
No, it's good news, man. Yep.
Yeah. Do you think Trump and Schiff are alpha males? A better question is, considering there are no apologies being issued by anyone in the Republican Party, can we safely assume that when alphas get pissed off, they may use terminology that betas interpret as, quote, threatening? Colleen Clemens, a professor of non-Western literatures and the director of Women's and Gender Studies at Kutztown University, wrote the article, Say No to, quote, Boys Will Be Boys. In it, she seems to debunk this notion saying, quote, we can no longer excuse negative behaviors like this with the line, boys will be boys. This being that threatening behavior. But is it possible for aggressive alpha males to assume beta ideology and behavior patterns? Isn't that comparable to forcing a round peg into a square hole? Roger Corley, in his article entitled Modern Masculinity in Crisis, Rise of the Beta Male, posits, is it posits or posits?
Posits.
Posits this hypothesis. Modern society has ostracized and ridiculed the ideals of masculinity for both boys and men, stunting their emotional and psychic maturity, and forcing them into submissive beta male roles with an increasingly feminized culture.
Within an increasingly feminized culture.
Yeah, that's a really tricky quote right there. Let me read it one more time. Modern society has ostracized and ridiculed the ideals of masculinity for both boys and men, stunting their emotional and psychic maturity and forcing them into submissive beta male roles within an increasingly feminized culture. Yeah.
Right.
Tongue twister, that bad boy.
I tell you, man, but like I said, you white folks, man, they can define shit, man.
Yeah, man, it spells. This spell game is on point.
They can, it's not even, no, it's that they can just define shit. Like, you know, like if I had to define what mass beta stuff is, like to say something like this, or even how it's happening, like he's actually talking about the phenomenon of what's going on in this society, what modern society is doing. And this is the buck breaking thing right here, right? This is what he's talking about. This is buck breaking right here. And you got people like, you know, like my man up in like I said, you know, the thing about betas was funny is that they talk to you like you're a beta, and they think it's normal. Because they think like you said, your boy, everybody's
a beta. Yeah. I showed him this article, and he didn't even read it. He just read the title, Buck Broken Males. He was like, but everybody's bug broken. No, first he said, what is bug broken? Which I was like, well, he's a young cat. And so when he said that, I was like, okay, maybe he ain't heard that, because you'd be surprised what people don't know nowadays. So you say some shit and he hears it. And then he's like, but if that's the case, then everybody's bug broken. And I was like, yeah, that was.
Yeah. Because if everyone's not bug broken, then that means I'm a bitch ass nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that's what I'm saying. So when when you walk in the room as an alpha, that's why everybody hates you. Like, wait a minute. What? And they'll say like, "Oh, you think you all that, or you're uppity?" No, I just have self-esteem.
Right.
You know, I have, you know, I have a square that I'm standing on. I have, you know, I have self-respect. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, you know, and what they're really saying is, you're not better than me.
Right.
The thing about it is, for at least in my case, I'm saying you're right. I'm not better than you. So why did you do that? Why did you get bug broken? You know, and a lot of it is they just don't believe in themselves, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They don't believe
it's almost like an excuse to fail already. So let me just set it up so I already know I'm not going to get ahead in this shit. So let me just make excuses now.
And hopefully, like I said, we'll talk about that more. But yeah, let's knock this down.
All right.
Let me just with this in mind, yeah.
Yes, let me just find out where my place is again, boys.
Yeah, with this in mind.
Okay, yeah, with this in mind, my bad. With this in mind, why aren't white leaders like Trump being forced into submissive beta male roles? Put another way, how come it's only black athletes and entertainers like Snoop who are required to bow down and kowtow? Quote from my man Malcolm X, a man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. Was this a moment when Snoop was supposed to be, quote, quote, be a man and show support for his brother? In other words, should Snoop have, quote, stuck to his guns, even if it meant taking an L? Dan Bacon, in his article entitled Alpha Male versus Beta Male, What's the Difference? States, when life gets tough and or you encounter a challenging situation, you will be considered an alpha male if you remain strong and keep pushing forward to victory. For a moment, let's speculate on what might have occurred had Snoop done what needed to be done, which was to unapologetically say, fuck Gail, Susan, Oprah, and anyone else who has something to say. I love Kobe. He's my little brother, and I will defend his reputation no matter what. What do you think would have happened? Would Snoop have had to worry about his career? Do you think the government would have unleashed the IRS, FBI, DEA, or any other agencies that Professor Griff on the group Public Enemy calls, quote, the Alphabet Boys? Speaking of PE and speaking of Public Enemy and buck broken beta males, is it a coincidence that Chuck D is the same guy who threw Professor Griff under the bus back in 1989, and now instead of supporting his little brother, Flavor Flav, he fired him to show support for Bernie Sanders? Is Chuck D just another old sellout on a leash? Yeah.
Another icon.
Yeah, that hit me that was a double whammy.
Icon, man. You would never Chuck D.
Yeah, it is. It's just old man. Anyway, it's just old man shit. Like
pension, it's pension time, nigga.
These niggas about to start wearing suspenders. All right, hold up. Alpha, beta, male, double standards. As illustrated above, when it comes to white males in the ruling class, so-called, quote, toxic masculinity is not only tolerated, but expected. It's normal. However, for the lower classes, especially the darker hues, we're made out to be the, quote, boogeyman, if we so much as comment on, let alone disagree with, the effemination process that is being shoved down our throats. Roger Corley details how, by discouraging masculinity, society has bred a generation of timid beta males who he describes as, quote, immature, selfish, childish, weak, narcissistic, and vengeful boymen. Vengeful boymen. That, yeah, they do. They got them words, boy. Anyway.
Shout out to Curtis Davis. We gonna get
Curtis Davis. Yeah. Curtis. Okay. Because I looked back, I was like, Curtis Davis said this? I was like, oh no. He warns of certain consequences, such as, quote, a continued increase in male suicides. Shout out Japan. Mass/vengeful violence. And what's recently being described as an en masse, quote, checkout of men and boys from their vital societal roles. Come to think of it, this creation of timid beta males, which leads to boys checking out of their societal roles, reminds me of another ex-NBA player, Dwayne Wade, and his child. And once again, upon further scrutiny of the fiasco I call, quote, Zion versus Zaya, we discover the boy either has or had a white man for a nanny. Let's unpack this for a moment. Who in their right mind will hire a white man to raise a black boy? Without delving any further into this matter, this is already enough to question whether or not this child's path to adulthood is being steered by Mother Nature or is being artificially manufactured. And then bow. Wow, what a weird.
That's weird, man.
And
That's
he's
weird.
And Dwayne Wade come from he ain't groomed or nothing like that. Like he came from what do you call it? Like just a regular neighborhood. Like he's just a regular black guy, right?
I don't know much about. I don't know anything about Dwayne Wade. Like I said,
okay,
came
yeah.
up,
Hire a white man for a nanny?
That's just. Yo, man, just think about your life, man. And if you grew up and there was this guy right here.
Yeah.
This guy right here, like raising you every day, man. How different you would be.
I was over at the bar.
Take your mom out the equation and put him there.
You think about that, like
seriously, just think about that for a second.
No, I really can't even imagine.
The right picture.
Yeah, yes. And that's him. That's the boy.
Yeah.
You can easily see like he was just a regular kid.
At one point.
Yeah.
Until I
Now I
wonder
don't even
what
want to look at
happened.
this picture no more. I'm about to cut that bad boy off
I
anyway.
wonder what happened.
Yeah.
You know. So, like I said,
Yeah.
you know, like, and people, you know, it's funny. I posted this in this Blacks in Japan channel,
Mm-hmm.
and the main reason I'm saying is, yo, there's a whole lot of betas here.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I don't even care if you're a beta, but you need to know you're a beta, and you need to move your ass over to the beta lane. I'm gonna
Right.
keep it 100 with you, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm sick of these cats walking up, especially when they start talking to you like you're a beta too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everything is normal, and you're supposed to just go along with this stuff, you know. And then it's funny when
Yeah.
you stand up for something and they're looking at you like, oh wow, I didn't know, you know. But
Yeah.
like I said, when you walk in a room, everybody gets convicted.
Mm.
Everybody gets convicted. I have numerous.
Because but that's the point, right? That's the problem with beta. Not the problem, but that's what goes with beta. Everybody got to be that. Just
Yeah,
like a following, everybody got to be it. You can't stand out and we all do the same shit. So it's like it's almost natural to for them to think that. Like, well, we're all like that. You're not any better than us. Uh like how cowards do it when cowards get caught, like in the movies and shit. He's like, everybody's got a price. Come on, you would do it. If it happened to you, the same thing, you would do the same thing.
right.
Don't look at me like that. And you're like, oh, okay. You're
What
like,
movie is that? It was an old movie, right?
I mean, that's just the standard. That's the
Yeah,
standard
I think I've
coward. Like
seen that show.
whenever they get caught, you've
And
seen
you
it
know
so many
what? And, like,
times.
and you said earlier, shout out to Japan. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
what really I'm really catching on to now. Like, you know, all of this stuff, the gaijin thing that I don't see that many other motherfuckers do. And when I say to them, I'm like, when they start noticing, like, yeah, the Japanese, they call you by your last name and treat you the way Japanese get treated. Not 100%, not, you know, I'm passing them like that, but I'm talking about the respect stuff on a professional level. And the only reason is because I call it out and I tell them, I'm like, look, I'm not trying to, no, you ain't gonna treat me like that. And it's not because I think I'm so tough or hard. I can't do it. I
Mm-hmm.
can't walk around and just be disrespected every day. It, you know, and that's just become normal. And that, I think that in itself is what an alpha is. It's like, no, man. And, you know, like you said, I'd rather live one day as a lion than a dozen years as a sheep.
Real talk.
And that's what it comes down to. And a lot of people will
Real
sit
talk.
there
I
and
mean,
say that, but they walking around, bah, you know?
yeah. Yep. I mean, there's nothing to say about that. That's it. Like,
I can't, like I said, it's not that I just can't, like I said, in a couple years ago, as you know, a lot of people don't know, I had some injuries, a series of injuries that left me almost, or you could say almost,
yeah, it took you a while to get over.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was physically challenged,
Mm.
wheelchairs and in crutches,
Mm-hmm.
canes, and this was over a series of years.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, your
Yeah,
image of me, my image of you is like that sometimes because I saw you so long like that.
right. It was years. It
It
wasn't
was
like a couple
serious. It was
months.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the doctors didn't know. And like I said, I go into this. I talk about it a little bit in the third book of Gaikokujin.
Mm.
But I know now the reason for that is because of a lot of stuff that I had accepted. It was like a slow thing, and I'm around all these betas because Japanese basically, by definition, are beta because they're dantai teki, like you know, the
Right.
group. They're like the Jawa in Star Wars.
Right. Group
You
mind.
know,
And Japan handles it. Yeah.
you
Their
know,
country takes care of them. Yeah.
and and you know
Mm-hmm.
what? And I used to say, if black people could just have the unity that Japanese people have,
Mm-hmm.
it would be over. It would be over. And I mean, and that to an extent is still true. But I understand the way Japanese people do it. Black people never would do that. Like, because, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like it would now, and if they did, if we did, it would be a step backward. It's just like, you know, Bobby Hemmett be saying, you know, he's talking about, you know, done that, did that, got the t-shirt. We ain't done all this stuff before. You know what I'm saying? And
Wow.
you know,
Yeah.
we've done this,
Yeah.
and for black people, like you want black people, everybody to live better and have good neighborhoods
Right.
and buy black and all these things. But sometimes I'm looking at it because we live in Japan and we see what it is when everybody's on the same sheet. You
Mm.
lose your identity.
Right. Right.
And I don't know if we've already done that, if we built pyramids, which we know we've done, Angkor Wat,
Mm.
and all these places, we've already been on the same page together. And look what we built. Much
Right.
more than
Right.
anybody else is thinking about building or doing or having an advanced society. But I don't know if that's what we're as black people, is that where we're going?
I think that's where we're going. Only just so like, because I believe everything you just said is completely correct. But that what Japanese are doing, what black people need to do, that's for the betas. That's what they want. That's what happiness is everybody holding hands and like being friendly to each other and nobody fighting each other. And it's like this like fake Disney World life.
Hmm.
I don't care either way. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what you mean right there. It's like you're mentioning the betas world and the alpha at the same time, because they both exist at all times.
Right.
But as black people, if you're alpha, they ain't never gonna do it. They ain't got nothing to do with anything. You know what I'm saying? I hope betas get along well and they don't have to fight each other or whatever. But I'm not about that shit either way. That
Hmm.
shit ain't got nothing to do with me. You know? And when I talk to people, that's basically what you just said when we decide on who's beta or not. If you keep talking about how the world is supposed to be and how we're supposed to save everybody and all this shit, I'm like, yeah, you definitely beta.
Hmm.
That's what you're looking for. Like, no, we all need to be friends and all need to get along. I'm like, well, we can all get along, but we don't have to be holding hands and be, I don't. I'm friends with everybody. Like that. That's a beta move right there.
Hmm.
Everybody's my friend. You know, I like everybody. I don't care what color they are. Like, I'm like, I know that we're not talking about that. Like, seeing it, that's just some. I'm like, yeah, that's what you need. You need to have that. You need to have that feeling of like, that's what heaven is for Christian niggas. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to do all that.
Hmm.
Show me the next level, motherfucker. You need to go to heaven and just stay over there. I don't want nothing to do with none of this no more. If I see any of y'all niggas in the next life, I'm in the wrong place. Not just white, a couple black niggas too. I'm like,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay, but speaking of, this is a
Mm,
perfect segue, and we're gonna try to bring it down for those of you that might have went over your heads. Let me
okay.
just give a concrete example. I want to shout out to Curtis Davis.
Mm.
You remember
Out
him? This guy,
crazy. Yeah.
yo,
Mm.
I got a call last night from a guy named Curtis Davis. Curtis
Occult
Davis,
Science
dude,
Radio.
I'm sorry,
Occult Science Radio.
Occult
Occult.
Science, yeah, the Occult Science Network Radio. Anyway, this guy, he was on
Mm.
Blog Talk Radio about what 10 years ago. Blog Talk Radio was like the shit. And
Mm.
everybody was really, really getting on there. I don't even know what's going on with them now. But Miss Blue, maybe I was, and this is when I was really getting into. It was more than 10 years actually, but I was getting into consciousness via the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Watching Bobby Hemmett and a slew Dr. Valentine,
Mm.
um, Aline Bay, a
Mm.
lot of people I was watching. I can't even, the names not even coming to me now. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Um, but one of the networks that came on was Occult Science Network, Occult Science Network, I
I
think,
thought it was Occult Science Radio.
the
Okay.
Occult Science Radio. And
Yeah.
and this guy Curtis Davis, he had the top metaphysical teachers on there.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a real deep voice. You said sounds like Dracula. And
Yeah, 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 man. Panic said that shit. Yeah,
and
that was funny. Yeah.
but anyway, I used to listen to this guy's network all the time, and get a lot of science. And
Mm-hmm.
it's funny, Bobby Hemmett used to be on there a lot. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
brother Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And anyway, I don't even remember. I don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember corresponding with him, but I imagine I did.
Mm.
I was reaching out back then. I used to be in people's chat rooms and this kind of thing. Anyway, this guy calls me out the blue on Messenger last night. I'm going to go to bed. It's 2 a.m. I live in Japan. And I see Curtis Davis, and I didn't remember he was even him. I'm like, who is Curtis Davis?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and
didn't he have a different name, by the way, on the show? Sometimes he didn't say his name, Curtis. That he something.
Yeah, he had some kind of title.
He had a title.
Yeah, he had some title. Yeah, I can't even remember what it was. And it's funny, all the white people would be like, yeah, Curtis, they did, and that's why we don't remember it. That's why we don't remember it. You know what I'm saying? The white people would just talk to him like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, he calls me, and he's just like, yeah. And he's talking, how's it? And he's like, yo, how you been? And I'm thinking, well, maybe I did correspond with him. And, you know, I didn't want to act like I didn't remember. I remember him, but I mean, you know, details, you know, people get offended. So I'm playing I'm trying to be, you know, congenial. And then he goes into this conversation about how he's had a really rough day. And his coworker had a baby. And so he's covering for him on his day off. Right? I mean, he's going telling me, I'm like, why is he telling me this story? And he says he goes down to Starbucks and gets some coffee and his wallet, he drops his wallet. Let me just speed it up. And he gets back to the office, the wallet.
It's a real random story, yeah.
Right. But I mean, but yeah, and it's good. But he's giving me details, and I'm on the phone like, why is this guy telling me this?
Right.
So anyway, he tells me finally, he finds his wallet's not there. He goes back. They found the wallet, but the money's taken out. And I'm just like, yeah, well, it's New York City. What you think? You know, what do you expect? Anyway, this cat then asked me. He says, "Hey man, can you lend me $25?"
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm like, what? Let me lend you $25. He's like, yeah, well, I'm at work and it's my day off. I'm not even supposed to be here. He was trying to make me feel guilt, like I'm supposed to feel something that he's helping his coworker out that had a baby. And the whole thing is not registering to me. Like I'm like, I don't even know how does this doesn't add up. But it started getting on my nerves a little bit. And I actually was like, you know what, man? I'll give you the money, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like you got me in this conversation. I've been on this in the street, with somebody asked you for money, you thought they wouldn't come talk to you, and they're asking for money. It's Kyle.
Hey.
You just tell her. カヨさん、すみません、今でもインタビュー中なの、もう一回ね。いいですか？あ、でも、明日でもちょっと、さっき倒していい？はい。Ooh, sound kind of.
Sound a little eat right there.
Right?
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. Anyway, so this dude, so he goes in this long spiel about it. And I'm just like, okay, man, you know what? I'm gonna give you the money, man. Here. You know, and then I thought about it, I'm like, wait a minute. He starts like, okay, I'm gonna give you the my PayPal, you know, and
he's making it even, it's getting more.
Well, it's the only way I can do it, you know. And I told him, I'm like, yo, man, I live in Japan, man, and you know, I'm thinking $25, and I didn't even hear this part. He actually said this to me. He was like, I'm gonna be here for a 12-hour shift, you know, 25. I need to get something to eat. So he wanted me to buy his lunch.
Basically, yeah.
And I didn't even catch that part. I was in my mind thinking it's some kind of like he's in some kind of life-death situation.
Right. He needs some money quick. Something.
Like that's the only reason somebody would ask for money. Like
who don't know you,
And so I was just like, yo, okay, I'm gonna give it to you, man. I'm thinking whatever, man. Because maybe if I'm in a situation, brother, he asking me for it. Let me just.
But then he said something to eat though.
I didn't factor that in until after we had hung up and I thought about it.
Wow.
So I'm just thinking I'm just gonna give you the money, right? So when he starts giving me, he's like, yeah, and I'm gonna text you my bank information. And then you know what? He went into this conversation. Oh, you know, I've always wanted to go to Japan, and it just sounded like that sucker conversation that you give niggas. And I was just like, oh no, he gonna get off the phone and laugh about this, you know. And I was just like, yo, Kirk, yo, I can't do it, man. And I was like, yo, man, this just sounds too much like a scam, my nigga. I just like it just none of this adds up. And I was trying to reason with him, right? And I told the brother, I said, look, and he was like, no, okay. You said you're gonna be there for the next like at least it's a 12-hour shift. You got at least 10 more hours left. I said, well, I said, I live in Japan. It's 2 a.m. here. I'm not gonna log into my account and do all this now. I was like, if it's a life or death situation, I'm gonna go to sleep. I only sleep about 6, no more than 7 hours. Call me back in 6, 7 hours. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a life-death situation. Goodbye. And he was still, I gotta go, man. I gotta go to work tomorrow, man. I gotta work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and so I hang up, go to sleep, wake up, no call. And I'm like, yeah, I wasn't surprised. So I leave, I got stuff to do, I go to work. I get a call. Now at this point, it was like, he called me at 2 a.m. It was okay, it was about 12, it was 2 in the afternoon. So it was at the end of his shift. He called me, but I'm working now. So I told him, I'm like, look, man, I can't speak now. Well, I texted him. I'm like, I'm working right now, and I'll call you. I'll be available in like an hour or so, whatever time it was. And he texted me. I didn't read it till later. That's going to be like 2:20 in the morning here. Like he's complaining.
But he called you.
Right, he's complaining to me. I'm like, no, I'm working right now. I can't.
But didn't he call you at the first call was at like 2 a.m, right?
Yeah, but he didn't know it was 2 a.m. He didn't know I was in Japan.
Oh, okay. He didn't know you were in Japan.
He didn't know I was in
Japan. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway. But I'm noticing his indignation. I'm like, yo, man, I'm at work right now. I can't. You're acting like I'm just refusing your call. I'm working right now. The fact that I can text just shows I have some kind of flexibility in my job.
Right.
But you ain't seeing none of that. Like I said, that's beta shit. Because it's some selfish shit. If you were really in a dire situation, you would have called me back when I told you to call me. I said I'm gonna sleep 6, 7 hours. You'd have called me while I was here. While I was at home, I would have picked up the phone. But you're not. You're into your own thing. This is a scam. This nigga's probably he's asleep. He's doing something. Anyway, so he's like complaining. It's gonna be 2:20 in the morning. So when I get off, I text him, okay, I'm available now, man. If you want to talk. He doesn't call me. He calls me. Then a couple hours later, does he call me? No, he texts me, and he's like, "We're gonna have to read these." And
yeah, please read a couple of these.
We're gonna read this shit. I mean.
Yeah, man. Fuck that.
Science Network. And
yeah, occult science. Now he.
Okay, hold up. So
he did a lot of things, but he was a stand-up brother.
He was a stand-up brother, man. I thought, but so I said when I got out of work, okay, thanks for waiting. I'm available now. What's good? And this is 3:21 our time. He calls me back at 5, almost 6, 5:54. So it's like what, 3 hours, almost 3 hours later. And he said, you told me to connect with you if I wasn't successful. You know what I'm saying? And I write back. Actually, I didn't see it for another. I wrote back like 2 hours later. I said, come on, Kurt, man. You're being ridiculous at this point. I told you to call me in about 6 hours if you were still in dire straits. Are you still in a situation that me sending you $25 is going to help? I mean, at this point, how many hours later is it now?
Right. It's $25.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, he told me he went to work in his car, lost his wallet in the thing. He never said he didn't have no gas. So in other words, he's at work. At the end of his shift, he's going to get back in his car and go home, where he has food and everything. You don't even $5 anymore.
Okay, and that's when you realize, because if it was about the food, like you just said now, okay.
Yeah, because I didn't. Yeah,
He
I'm thinking he was in
if it was
dire
a
straits, but
food
I'm
thing,
like,
he
the
can
whole
go
thing
home. He
wasn't
got
even
food in
about
the home.
that.
Yeah.
It wasn't
He
even
got
about
food
him
at
being in dire
home.
straits.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not about food then. Like, what do you
It's not
okay.
about food anymore.
Not
You're
about
just
food,
like
yeah.
lying, like
Mhm.
I was in line, like on some beta shit.
Yeah, yeah. Not
So
from a nigga like this. Anyway.
okay, let me finish this. The end of my text, part of this same text.
Keep
That's
going.
what I said. Are you still in a situation that me sending you $25 is going to help?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, brother, had you just contacted me like a man and asked me to make a donation, I would have gladly hit you off with $100. You know, I watched a lot of his shows. I did all that for free. If he told me, yo, I'm trying to put this thing together,
Right.
you know, yeah, okay, man, I'll hit you off. I'll give you ain't much. I got a little paper though. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? And I said, I ain't gonna lie, I said, so remember that the next time you run this scam by someone.
Ooh.
And I said, and I put at the end, come on, brother. I had a great deal of respect for you. What happened? Damn.
Mm-hmm.
And now he set off because I'm looking around.
Wait a minute. And you said, damn, you wrote all that. That's what you wrote?
Yeah, I wrote damn.
Like, what happened to you? Damn.
Damn. No, that was damn! Exclamation point. Oh, you hurt my feelings right now, man. My feelings, you know what I'm saying? I thought you was a
imagine
stand
getting a mail like that too? Like, damn.
Damn, man. Like, then you gonna, damn. Tired of this shit, man. I'm tired of these beta niggas, man. Ruining my motherfucking image. Trying to have a black hero here.
Yeah, man.
You think like, what are you like, 60? Gotta be in his 60s, maybe 70s.
Okay, either way, but damn, 70s?
He's
asking
old,
for
man.
$25? He had his own network. He had real niggas on there. Anyway.
This is what he wrote back. This is what he wrote back.
After that, yeah.
I wrote at 8:08. He wrote back at 8:30, 8:29. He said, okay. I'm being sincere. I'm too old to be running bullshit scams. This is why I don't deal with niggas. I come to you with sincerity. I actually call you, and he calls in all caps, call you, and you accuse me of running a scam? Fuck it, bro. Keep your fucking money. This is just why niggas will never get anywhere. First of all, nigga, if I was going to scam someone, it would be for a lot more than a measly $25. But
okay.
Fuck you and your money. Keep it.
Damn.
I just hope that one day, oh, by the way, when I was speaking to him, I told him about my situation where I couldn't walk for a couple years and, you know, doctors couldn't help me. And I talked about all this because he asked me what was going on. So I mentioned this, okay? So this is what he references. He said, but fuck you and your money, keep it. I just hope that one day your ass is in this position and somebody turns their back on you. Remember, you just had severe health problems. You should have fucking died. Fuck you and your money. I, all caps, promise you I won't bother you again. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Wow, yo.
Okay, and
he said he hopes you get injured. He hopes your injury.
He said you should have fucking died.
Damn. You should have fucking.
He said, yeah. I just hope that one day your ass is in this position. What position are you talking about, man? You at work? You at work?
$25?
You want me to buy you lunch, nigga? What position are you talking about?
$25. I don't. My bad.
Where are you? Like
what?
Where are you texting me from right now? You know what I'm saying?
What vitriol you have if a person doesn't give you the money because you called him a scammer?
I don't even know this man.
Because you called him a scammer and shit.
I never met this guy. I've never seen him in person. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I want to make it clear. Yes. This is not my friend.
This is not a personal thing. Yeah.
Not even someone I know.
Yeah, when you first heard of him, you were like, who?
When I was looking at him, like Curtis Davis, because it's 2 a.m. I'm already his messenger. I'm like, it's somebody from the States. You know? I'm like, Curtis Davis. You know, I'm thinking high school. I'm thinking, you know what I mean? Like, who is this guy? let me just answer it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I never thought.
So he's not doing the channel no more. I'm
don't know.
wondering what happened where, like, I really think it is either, like you just said, it's the end result of age, beta male, or he literally just went insane.
Well, like I said, this is the result of being a beta. Remember,
okay,
on his network, he had real hard hitting brothers. It was like Bobby Hemmett, Reverend Valentine.
Yep.
He was bringing the heat. And then not only did he go with the Lloyd Strayhorns and those kind of cats, he removed Bobby's tape. Remember, he removed them all
from his show, from his website,
his channel. Yeah, because he had an archive, and I used to go back in the archives and listen to stuff, you know, a lot. And then all of a sudden, they weren't there no more.
I was trying to remember why we stopped listening, because I was like, I'm not listening no more.
Yeah,
it's because of that.
Well, you were the one that really went. You were like, yo, he going all the white.
Yeah, you just kept going with all the white people now. Like, yeah.
He went with all the white guys. And that's what he means. And he says it right here. What did he say? He said, that's why I don't fuck with you niggas. Right? Yeah, he said, he said something like that.
So is he getting $25?
This is why I don't deal with niggas. That's what he said. I'm too old to be running this bullshit scams. This is why I don't deal with niggas. I come to you like, this is why I don't deal with niggas. He talking about, all of us. You know what I'm saying? All of us. You know what I mean?
So the white people giving him $25? That's what.
Oh, and there we go. And I say that, and that nigga you had to fire recently. I'm the greatest guy. These people, they're like, they know all these people. They all this shit. So why are you over here fucking with me then? When you need something, when you want to ask money, so you want to get the money from me and then go in front of them and act like you got some shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't stunt on white people. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I wonder. You have to wonder: is this what percentage of his income is he making off of this?
Because again, because he was somebody we listened to. He had a legitimate professional platform where. We're not talking about dumb niggas who are just out in the streets just talking shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like young cats or whatever, you know, people who are just talking shit. This guy really, he had it going on for a while. Even if he went with the white people, he still had it going on though. He was very organized. I liked how he used to ask the questions. He used to ask good questions. Yeah. Which is like the proof to me of a good interviewer. You know what I'm saying? As a guy who knows how to ask, he knew how to ask questions. Like he had skills.
Like I said, the fact that all people were messing with him, like I said, what happened? That's what I said. What happened, man? Like, damn, what happened, my brother? Like, it's just sad, man. But like I said, the vitriol, like in the article, in the end of the article, when we're talking about the vengeful boy man. Remember, that's why I said it again. This is what we're talking about. Like no matter, okay, let's just say everything. Let's just say everything was real. Let's just say he really needed money.
$25. Okay.
The fact that you know that I don't know you.
Right.
And you're calling me on a phone. I'm in Japan. Nigga, you need $25. There's nobody in New York. You don't know nobody. The guy who gonna relieve you, you in a building, there's nobody else there. Like stop it. Like what, this is not life or death situation.
It's gotta be a scam. It's gotta be a scam.
Like what else could it be? What else could it be? After you're calling me like way after the shift's over. If you was in some bad situation, you wouldn't be mailing me. If you were somewhere where it was cold and dark, you would not be mailing me, nigga. You wouldn't have the energy. You wouldn't even be thinking about that shit.
It don't add up.
None of it adds up. But the fact that it doesn't add up, the only thing he can see is his small window of, you're accusing me of lying. You can't prove I'm not lying. That's some beta shit. And, and what I'm saying in the interview is I'm trying to get, like I'm saying, this is the result of this. And everybody wants to try to act like it's okay. Oh, this is just, no. Okay, well, if you think that, that's great. But this is what we're coming to. Because this man used to be a stand-up guy. And I remember you asked the question, and we were going to talk about it, if you can go from alpha to beta, or if you can switch.
Yes. Can you switch between alpha and beta? And I think this is a perfect example of a guy. Because what we're talking about, the trauma, the beta thing is all about getting buck broken. You're right.
They buck break who? The alpha. They look for the alpha.
That's true. Why would you bug break a beta?
You don't have to. They're already broken. All you got to do is you
Right.
show the
That's
beta.
true.
You
Yes.
line the
So
betas
that's
up,
the answer then.
and you pick the alpha and you break him, and then everybody is set. You feel me? But the other way is true too. Look at the situation, like, you know what I mean? Like even your situation of where you grew up, everything. But what did you
I was
say?
raised straight beta, man. Yeah, no, straight
what
up.
What did you say? But your situation, you always like, yo, you was always looking for you, which you said the blackest guy. The black, because what? Because you said you saw your flaws, and you were like, yo, I ain't trying to live a life as a fucking beta.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were reaching, and that's what in one of the articles I was reading, he's talking about what we need to have, the ritual or the coming of age ceremony for men and teaching men. We don't do that in black communities anymore. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I went to my boy's bar mitzvah, Jewish cat, and you seen
bar mitzvahs, coming of age for men.
Coming of age. Mm-hmm. He had been trained in the synagogue. He had certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have that. And we need that.
Right.
We need it back.
We do need that.
You know?
We do. Yeah. Well, there it goes back again right there. What you just said there, because when betas even talk about how society needs to get better, or we need to work together, and we need to all work together, and who cares what color? I'm like, okay, but how are you going to raise the alphas then?
Yeah,
because I don't understand. Like, I understand the coming together and we should all be friends, and I get it. Why can't you get what I'm saying? I'm not talking about killing nobody or nothing like that. It's just, and you're taking it so threateningly. You're like, what are you, scared? Like, it really is. And like you just said, people get offended when you call them out on beta shit.
Or like I said, and that's even too deep. When you walk around, I realize this. You walk around, and especially as a black man, when you're a black man and you walk around and you shine, everybody is drawn to you.
Yeah.
And especially brothers like us, we got like I said, I cover my shit up just to stifle that shit a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got your shit out most of the time. And that shit is melanin. That shit's attracting everybody. Mm-hmm. And these motherfuckers, they can't stand them. I mean, you can just see them. And it boggles my mind. It's just like, I can see people coming to me, like trying to cut me off when I'm walking. They want to just do something. And I know I'm God. I know you want to touch, you need something from me. And so I try to keep an open mind about it. But like I said, the end result, if you don't understand this, if you don't understand white supremacy, racism, white supremacy, like I said, you become buck broken. And what happens is you start saying things like your boy Pat said, so everybody's like this. Or
you say put names out there now. Damn.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man.
Hey, call it what it is, though.
Yeah, like I said, if I say something that's incorrect, please step to me and I'll change it. And I'll change it. Like I said, if you run out in the street and a girl's in distress, a little girl, and you save her life, and I see it, and later I'm like, yo, he's a hero. You ain't have no problem with that. So if you act like you some bitch ass nigga shit, and I call you a beta, you know what I'm saying? If you don't like me calling you a beta, then stop the beta shit. The niggas want to be embarrassed about or angry about the title. Did you earn that?
Right.
You earned it, then what you mad at me for? Step out the shoes, B. You wearing them shoes, motherfucker, I'm gonna say it. You know what I'm saying? That right there is beta. That right there is beta alpha shit.
Yeah.
You know?
So let me ask you again. Right before we said it, the characteristics of a beta, the characteristics of an alpha. Not too basic, because people basically know what the fuck that means, but you know what I mean? What modern times, what I think a lot of younger cats, especially, because like me especially, I think I was an alpha raised in a beta society, didn't even suspect that I could be alpha, and like you said, I was looking for it.
You were like a lion cub being raised by fucking sheep.
Right.
Damn, I got these claws and shit. and they're not telling you how to use them. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's what you're like. You're like, what's going on? Like, and you have this power. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of people like that though. There's a lot of cats, especially with all you need nowadays is.
Let me answer your question though. To make it really, really clear.
I didn't even ask it yet.
The alpha is the what do you call
characteristics?
The unhomogenized black man. That's what
the alpha is. The unhomogenized black man.
Yeah, before any black boy anywhere that's in a black neighborhood that white people ain't fucking with him or other people ain't telling him some dumb shit, and he getting love and nurture from his grandmom and his father. The father's there, definitely right there. It's a natural thing. We're talking about nature here. You know what I'm saying? Because to have an alpha mentality, you know what I'm saying? To have an alpha mentality is to have confidence. To have an alpha mentality is to have balls. It's just sitting back with your balls swinging, and you beta sit with your legs closed like a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that natural. And I want to make it that clear because all this LGBT, everybody shames you and makes you can't be a man anymore. You know what I'm saying? That being an alpha is just being a man. That's all it is. And you know what? And are women alphas? Yes, women is just being a natural woman. Just being a natural woman. You know what I'm saying? And knowing your power as a woman and step into it and having self-esteem and self-respect.
Yes.
And virtuosity. The virtuous woman, what happened to that? Everybody wants to talk about how good they tweak, how they can twerk and how many men. What happened to being virtuous? What happened to the virtuous woman? That's going to be an Afro-Asiatic perspective coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like, in search of the virtuous.
If any of you haven't, please, like we started now, but when I'm saying please, it's not no please, like I'm begging you. But if you like any of this, check the brothers' articles from past years. Just check it all out. What I liked about Jason Black, same shit. Since back in the day, it's not like you're predicting. It's almost as if you're prophetizing. You're what is it? You're predicting what's happening before it happens. Yeah, and it's not because you're some kind of godly person, which you are, because we guys, but you're just describing the science of things better than the average cat. And so the symptoms of this is this. The symptoms of that is that, and other people decided to ignore it. And when it finally comes up, you're just like, how did you know? It's like, I'm just talking about what it is. Like the fact that you even came up when I said, what's the characteristic of an alpha male? Non-homogenized
black man. It's just a black. It's just not. It's not even deep. That
is deep. So real. That is better than. I mean, yeah. Wow. That is exactly what it is. Wow.
And that's why everybody, when you see that unfettered black man standing there in the rap videos back in the 90s, where everybody flocked, all the white boys want to be that, and they were like, oh, we got to take that out. We got the gayness, the gay rapper. Why? I'm not beating down on homosexuals. If that's what you do, that's what you do. I'm talking about people being forced into that. Is this great boom that's going on, is this natural or is it manufactured? All the high estrogen levels in the water, you know what I'm saying? All those experiments they ain't showing you that the frogs are turning into, man, YouTube it. I'm not even trying to go into it. If you don't know,
check it out yourself. Because if you're an alpha, you will check it out. And like what you just said right there, it's not a gay thing because even women have alpha and beta.
Right.
It's alpha and beta all over the world. You know what is alpha or is mono or binary or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But it's when it comes to males specifically, this what drives me, what I just don't get, and I'm wondering if that's how you see it. Everybody claims alpha, but at the same time they're riding the fence. They're doing both sides. You're like, well, if you're doing both sides,
good. Alpha means good. Alpha means positive. They know that, right? It's the first letter. Alpha is A is the first letter. You get an A.
Right. Alphabet. Alphabet. Yeah.
So that's what you're saying when your boy Pat was. Everybody's like that, right? What he's saying is he's really like what he walks around act like he's cool. He wants to.
Everybody's alpha. Oh shit! I missed it.
Not. You know what I'm saying? He's not. And
Yeah.
he'll, and like I said, he could, like I said, this is a cat, he joined the white frat. Like, come on, let's just keep it 100. And it sounds like I'm beating him down, but he's an example. This is everybody now, it seems like. Everybody is slowly accepting this beta thing. And oh, everybody does it. I got to sell out. How am I going to succeed? Like, AfroA, look at my articles coming up to this. Is success, is sellout equivalent to being, I don't even remember my titles, but it's like, yeah, it's the same thing. You have to be a sellout in order to succeed in life.
Right.
If I'm saying the same thing I'm saying right now, if I had a Lex, if I had some kind of, I could be some illegitimate person, but if I'm endorsed with money, because that means I'm tapped into the society, people would hear me more. You drive up in a, that's the only reason I want to. I'm like, maybe I should just get an expensive car, because people will listen then. You know, you have these little props, these things you show them. You can just rent the car and do it.
Sure. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know, what is a rap video?
So it was harder to trick niggas back in the days because it was a little bit realer. Now you can do whatever you.
Like, you can just post it on Facebook.
All you got to do is make an image.
You could be a valet and just be standing in front of a Ferrari.
You gotta be no valet. You can just run up to a motherfucking car on the parking lot. Well, I look a nice car. Run up there and just take a picture of yourself. Nigga, you don't know what the fucking cars that is. Like,
just do all, like, you know what I'm saying? If you just clout chasing.
Wow.
Clout chasing.
It's like a video game. That fake ass Mario money, them coins.
Yo, we already close this out, so we gonna wind this down. I wanted to also shout out, like I said, the Black in Japan folks. One young lady, after I posted it, came at me and was commented and said, "What does this article have to do with being black in Japan?" And I believe at the time she posted it as a rhetorical question, not really thinking I was going to respond. Not me, if anybody's going to respond. But I responded. I said, "Thanks for the question," because I'm looking for intelligent questions. Most of the people there's a couple people that could, and I know there's a lot of people that don't comment, so I'm not trying to say everybody. But let me just keep it real. There's a whole lot of betas on there. There's a whole lot of betas. It's almost, is the betas or coons in Japan, or is it blacks in Japan? And that's what I want to know. And that's why I'm saying this. And so I posted it, and she came with the whole, like your boy said, I don't really believe in this concept of alphas and betas. It's not
Shout out to Masaki. Masaki said that shit, yeah.
She said something like, it's a pickup line for white people. Hold on, let me see. Let me.
It's a pickup line for white people?
Yeah, I was like I said, and
to get white girls or something? What do you mean?
Let me see if I can find it. Here it is.
It's a pickup line for white people.
This is what she said. Okay, I'm coming through it.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, what is she? What in reference is she talking about again? One more time.
Okay, let me. The article. I posted the article.
Okay.
And then one lady said, "What does this have to do with being black in Japan?" And a whole people were liking her reply. You know what I'm saying? Her question, like, "Oh yeah, I agree." So I answered. I said, "Thank you for the question." And I said, "The answer is everything. So much self-loathing among the brothers and sisters in Japan. Some of us have come here in an attempt to get away from black people. I've met dudes that will tell you how they're not trying to holler at any sisters. Please don't get it twisted. I don't care about what type of lifestyle people choose to live. But if folks are being coerced through any form of trauma, that is the definition of buck breaking. The result is beta energy. Whole lot of betas out here. Hope that answers your question." So that's what I said. A couple days went by, nobody answered me. It was like nobody was touching that. And finally, and this is what I think, this is beta energy. I always think, like, we can't let him get the last word. So all them days you sat there thinking about it, and this is the best that Jennifer Nicole Calhoun could come up with. Here you go. All of this beta bullshit is some nonsense made up by white pickup artists and other losers.
White pickup artists?
Let me finish it. White pickup artists and other losers to make excuses for why women wouldn't have sex with them. I don't even think this is on topic, because blaming it on beta energy, quote unquote beta energy, is a lot easier than admitting that you're a deeply unpleasant person. None of this alpha beta shit is real, and using it to attack women and quote unquote feminine men who don't align with your definition of masculinity during Women's History Month is a garbage thing to do. Shout out
Hey,
to Nicole Calhoun.
She yeah. What's her name one more time?
Jennifer Nicole Calhoun.
Calhoun. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I have definitely realized that, and she's a sister, right?
Oh, it's black in Japan. You know what? I'm her thumbnail. I can see. You know what? I don't want to look at it because I don't want to start clowning her, because I'm assuming that she's clown material. So I don't want to even get on that. I just want to stick to what she said.
No, I'm just wondering if she's a sister or not.
She's a sister. In the picture, it's blacks in Japan.
Okay. But yeah, as a person living in Japan, a lot of times I've come across both sisters, more of that kind of sister than the other kind, which would be a sister who, the minute you hear what I'm saying, you know I'm not attacking nobody, and it's what it is. But
no, but the thing, because it's her. She's the one that came to Japan. She ain't trying to fuck with no black people. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about her. It's hitting her. It's sensitive to her.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? That's the point. That's why I wrote the shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to draw the line. All you coons get over on that side. We want to know who you are so we can do some shit. I ain't even mad at you, but just get the fuck over there and stop acting like you're down with us. The real black people. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get with all Japanese people or white people, cool. But you can't ride the fence and try to act like that's the down low niggas, like fucking with, I'm gonna fuck with women and men and you gonna give me some AIDS or some shit. No, we just want to know what you are. Oh, that's homophobic. Why? Because I don't want to get AIDS? You know what I'm saying? The same thing. I don't want you. I'm gonna say you're gonna go back and tell white people you're just here to interrupt. You know what I'm saying? You're that the nigga. Oh, them they're planning a plot, massa. That's you. You know what I'm saying? So get you over to where you are, and I love you still, but I know I can't talk to you like that.
Exactly.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. And they're saying, no, we want to be in, because if they're not in with us, they don't have no value. White people,
you're right. No, you're right.
With them if they don't have if they're not black.
And there's no fight in it. That you're not trying to fight. You keep saying there's no fight, and I'm like, yeah, you're saying that, but right there, that the whole we need to get with massa and all that dumb bullshit, man. Like I feel you, because when you're hearing her talk, you're like, yeah, you're getting called out, you're getting mad, but you can do whatever you want, bitch. You can do whatever you want. Anybody can do whatever they want. You're sitting here talking about
she's a white pickup
getting with white people, getting with everybody else, being friends with everybody. That's not a reality in this world right now. In any time in history.
And the way that black people get shit on by everybody.
By everybody. We're not even talking about white people right now. You can talk about different things at different times. Like you out of all people got to go online and start writing all these messages. Why don't you just call a nigga? Yeah.
No, because like I said, there's no point. It's like
there's no point. No, I feel you.
This sounds like what Homeboy was saying. Like Corey, they were saying about Corey Holcomb. He's a very same thing. A deeply unpleasant person.
A bitter man.
Yeah, bitter comic.
A bitter comic, like some dumb shit.
It's weird. Like I said, listen.
How can you be that funny and be that? You couldn't be bitter and have that much humor in you.
But check this out. Going back on this, her whole thing. She's talking about feminine, Women's History Month. So we can see what her agenda is. And you ain't none of the stuff I said about Emmett Till. Right. None of the stuff I said about all the lynching. None of that is important.
None of it, Ray. None of it.
She's talking about white pickup artists.
Yeah.
I don't even know what she's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yo, I forgot. Yo,
beta shit.
thank you for bringing that up. I was jumping into her bullshit, but I'm like, wait a minute. You're talking about how she responded to your article. If you got
Yeah.
into the article, how could you even think that? Like this, you're going so deep into a rabbit hole. Like, so you wrote this to pick up what? I don't even know what a white pickup. I don't even know what that means. Like, yeah. Yo,
But
you
the
want to say
point
anything real
is to
quick?
get you off the point. That's the whole thing. Because there is no point. Like, another thing, like some of the people wrote some people, big up, like I said, I'm not looking for you to agree with me or disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you disagree. If you disagree, actually, I like when people disagree because if you can give me some knowledge, why do you disagree? You spell it out. But most of the people, they write these long, responses about their opinion.
On Facebook, yeah.
Or about their opinion. No references, just this is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at my article, it ain't like me just telling you what I think. You look at all these references. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying this is what this guy says. Isn't this what this is what it means.
You're black in Japan, you put it on Japan.
But like I said, and these people, I'm like, if you're writing this long response, why don't you just write an article? Because you can't. Because you have no evidence, you have no facts. It's just you ranting. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And like, it just blows me away, man. I turned it. I don't have my computer plugged in. My computer's getting ready to shut down. Huh? Oh.
Just say something real quick. Just real quick. Hold up. I'll be back in like 2 seconds. All right.
All right, go ahead. So yeah, anyway, we're getting ready to wrap this up actually. Let me try to get back on there. I can't see the camera. Yeah, this is, like I said, it's not about hating homosexuals or anything or any kind of people. I'm gonna be honest with you, that's just beneath me. That I don't have time for that. That's corny to me. And I'm talking about where we're at, what's going on, and I'm just looking at the landscape and giving you what I see. And clearly, I'm not the only one who sees this. And the fact that people get angry about it, because if you really look at my article and start, I'm not speaking from a place of emotion. I'm just speaking from a place of objectivity. And I'm speaking from a place of not being buck broken, of not having to go along with what the masses say. And I'm not afraid. That's it. And the majority of people, when they come on, when you see black people on, you see a fearful person. You see somebody who's scared, somebody who's, if I say this, I can't do, I'm gonna lose my endorsements, and I'm gonna do this. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't do that. If their lifestyle is based on that, if they got to pay the bill, I don't know what's going on in these people's lives. But if you do that, we have to call it something. You can't do that and then come back later and try to act like you like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And now it's getting to the point where that is everybody else. And that therein lies the problem. Final comments, man. We're gonna wrap it up. I think we pretty much spelled it out.
No, thank you for just pointing it out. We're trying to just define what this world is right now, the modern world, and don't get it twisted.
We're trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to figure it out. We don't, like what Zoe Williams always said, we don't have all the answers. We have the questions. And like I said, if we're asking the questions, the article, how many question marks are there? If your only thing is to get angry, then we're talking about you. That's you. You know what I mean? So move over to the left and let the black people, let us do our business.
Right.
You need to get a Coon channel, the Coon Network in Japan. And y'all need to get over on that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm tired of this, man. I go, oh, I'm going to hurt their feelings. Man, well, you're good. Good.
Use the kanji kun too.
You know what I'm saying? And I love you. And I love you.
Yep. And I love you. It's got nothing to do with that. Yep. Stop making it violent, motherfucker. Yeah.
You know? All right, man.
All right. Anything for you too? Anything?
No, I think I'm for you. You left, and I pretty much, I kind of got my man's name was also the guy that does the rant, Jeff something. I forgot his last name. Real good job on the shout out to that brother.
Really good. That
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
crew,
His name is
all
Jeff.
the all the brothers who are independent online right now. We'll shout you out another time because it's just too many of you. But that's the best. You are the only thing that is good about this modern society right now. Like real brother. Can you imagine going back? I said that to you earlier, right?
Yo, man, this closes, man. This closes, man. This closes. I think we did a good job, man. Give me your contact info.
realtalkenglish.jp.
All right, get at that brother, man.
Yeah.
And the name is Takuan Amaru.
Mm.
So the name, the same name at Gmail. So TAKUAN Amaru, AMARU at Gmail. Or you can link up with me through Facebook. I ain't really doing Instagram and Twitter. It's just too busy for me, man. Too busy.
I never done it yet.
All right, so we
All
out.
right.
And hopefully
Yeah.
we're gonna continue doing these videos, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen. You know, if people are gravitating to this, then it's something that's gonna happen. We'll move it up. You know, we pick it up. Afro-Asiatic perspectives, real talk.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace. Stop the recording.